one of the things that makes our ladies become difficult to respond to intimacy or sex. Women, you know, a man can have sex even in here, and it will be okay. Do you know that? Men, there is a Karasinga man in Endebess whose house girl was mopping the house, the sitting room. He was taking coffee on a coffee table like this one. And then because this house help did not have a pant, you know those days, unakumbuka pants zilikuanga ni gold. Ama nyinyi mnafikiri hii pants zimejaa kila mahali zilikuanga tu. Kumbe this fellow did not have a pant, and this man was seeing her vaginal system from behind. And a man, he could not resist it. Akangoja, akajikaza, akapana, akasema bana. Kalipopanguza kufika hapo karibu kakarukia mpap. Chaza machua girl. Akamalizana nako. Kakatoka hapo mbio kakaenda Endebess police station. Kufika kwa police station, those days we used to have open courts. You remember open courts like this one? Any woman, anywhere. Do you have any defense to put? The man said yes. Akasema, okay, sema. Akasema, jaji, kama kitu amuka, akili yote potea. You know? Hakuna kitu. Najua damu imerudi wapi? So, a woman cannot do that. A woman, if you have a kitanda inafanya kelele. Ati kitanda making noise. The woman will switch off and be pole pole. Na wewe umengangana wachana kitanda bado wewe watoto wanasikia. Ama kama kuna watu huko nje wanasikia. Do you hear that? Mwanaume anajali hiyo. Wewe hiyo tangoja. Cracking beds or rooms which unapata mlango ijafungwa, mwanamke hawezi kuwa na response yote. Kitu anafanyanga akiangalia mlango. Women. I think we will I'm trying to skip some spaces because of time. It is it's already past 4. Wow. We have a lot to cover, but we can the 4 stages of sex I'll preserve. But when people practice proper intimacy meaning wameingiana, wamekuwa kitu kimoja. You know, that's what God said. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined. When that intimacy is there, to the extent that you miss the other person. Like when I'm sitting, you know, we live in Buruburu. For those who may not know where I've come from, we live in Buruburu. And therefore, we have estates around. But when I'm in my study, if Lillian is walking in the court around the house now, going towards the main gate, I will know her footsteps from every other person out there. Do you know that? Hello? Did you know you can do that? Did you know you can even be sitting somewhere and you have a feeling like, hey, my wife or my husband could be around. People who are intimate, it is like you share the same vibes. Aspire to have that. It is very strong. Intimacy is associated with the couple's what you call overall lifestyle. Wewe ukipata mzee hajakuja, si ndio? Hajatoka job, lakini umepika, umeweka chakula kwa meza, umebomoa, umekula proper, hata utaka kujua uko wapi, unafika, umekula, disregarding of the other person. You are not intimate. You are not intimate. People who are intimate, they have the following benefits. They are the following benefits. Maybe I can mention just two. Hey, those are many. If I follow them, I will not be able to finish. Let me say, those who are not intimate. The negative ones are fewer. Those who are not intimate. You get it? When you are not intimate, and you will know it for yourself, you know, if you are not intimate, you are likely to suffer from stress most of the time. That's number one. What is stress? Did you know that statistics give us figures that 50% of the people who are admitted in hospitals around the world, their diseases are stress-induced. Stress works like HIV. It lowers the immune system of a person. And when your immune system is lowered, everything you get inakukwamia. Kahoma, kafulu, kanini, men who are here. When you have just had good sex, do you need a blanket to sleep? Do you really need one? In fact, women will tell you, ati anaanzanga kungorota. The way the Kikuyus put it, anaanza kungorota. Ata, yani unashuka hivi tu, ukianguka hapo hivi, unangorota. Mama anakufunikanga kama katoto. By the way, did you know, women have, the firstborn son is the husband. Sindio? The firstborn, this is your husband. That's your firstborn son. This other one you have seen here is just the follower. That is why utasikia mwanaume anauliza bibi yake, wapi socks? Nivae nini leo? By the way, sijaona inawea yangu. Hebu niwaulize, kwa nyinyi wanawake wako hapa, kuna wakati umewahi kuuliza bwana yako mahali panti iko? Na mbona yeye anakuulizanga umtafutie inawea yake? So those are part of your children. You're part of your children. A couple who are in very intimate relationship, stress is mitigated. That is why when a couple, they have very good quality sex, both of them wanna fall apart from each other on each side of the bed, and they feel like they have really relaxed muscles from the hairs of their head to the very soles of their feet. They are just relaxed. You know, even if you took how many peritons, you know, the brain, there is that place that we call the amygdala part of the brain. It releases a chemical stronger than a piriton. It comes in and removes you of every thoughts and feelings you had that were negative. Now unalala. That's why I said sex is a therapy. Sex is a therapy. If I were you, I would practice it more. But sleep hygiene requires you take care of what you eat. Okay? Don't just eat a lot of junk food. No, like me, for the last 10 years, I have never eaten a broiler. I don't even know how it tastes anymore. How many years? Na saizi mimi najua wengine hapa mnaangalia haya, huyu jamaa ajui. Hiyo kitu vile inaonekananga imenona imefura. Hiyo kitu unajua inakaa wiki ngapi na from the egg to the plate. How many weeks? How many weeks? 2 weeks? Or 4? 6 weeks? 2 to 6? Wewe umesema ngapi? 6 weeks. Ile kuku ya Waluya ya ushago inaweza kulu after how long? After 6 weeks. Tutakula kifaranga. Mimi naweza kula kifaranga. You know that thing inafikanga mahali inakula mpaka haiwezi kutembea, inakulia mahali iko. Alafu haichinjwangi unajua. They don't slaughter them. Because it can't run. You know, we only slaughter something that can run away from you. But this thing wanachukuanga nasikia wanatupa kwa maji moto. Na hiyo hata sio kwa maji moto, ati wanataningi hiyo shingo hivi. Halafu wanatoa manyoya, hata nahitaji maji ya kutoa manyoya. And you eat them and you are very happy. Perform shidwe. Kula chakula za kienyeji. Kula. Which foods are good for performance? I'm wrapping up quickly. Which good foods are good for performance in sleep hygiene? Go. Ugali. Tena sio ile ya jogo. Ugali ya kisiagio. Which other one? Duma. Eshwe modo wa gai. Which is the other one? Guashe. Another one? Muhogo. Let's come to the fruits. Which fruits? Cha? Banana. Ripe bananas. And it even has the shape of a penis. Do you know that? It's carved like this. Bananas are very good for men, for sexual, for erection stimulation. Which other one? Hey, jamaa mbona mko shy? Kwani nyinyi mnajiboosting na nini? Na Viagra. Ukikula Viagra utakufa. Viagra unakufa. Hiyo ni mbaya. Yes, any other? Yeah? Hawa jamaa hawa wanajua mgombera kweli? If you see people in town, they are selling white herbs like roots, but they are pure white. Buy them and eat. They sanitize your mouth, and they boost your testosterone and boost your erectile dysfunction. Unakuja inakuwa ngumu kama mawe. Are you getting what I mean? Pana kula Viagra. Things like avocado, they are very good. But ladies, kuna njugu. Did you hear that? Sio hizi njugu zingine zote, hizo zinatoka kwa western. Unazijua? Tunatunjugu ile tudogo hivi. Wacha hizi njugu zimefura kama njugu kubwa unatupa kwa mdomo na jaa. Tudogo hivi. Tunatokanga catchmaker ndio zinatoka. Tunjugu tudogo hivi. When your husband is going to work, out to lunch box tudogo hivi unamwambia unapeanga chai huko job. Utu tunjugu unakula kulanga ukikunywa cha unacharge battery. Unachajia yeye battery akiwa akirudi home ako sawa ama ni aje? Zione kama unashikanisha. There are different fruits which you need to have on your diet, mostly if you can afford in the house, occasionally. Then the foodstuffs that they are called natural foods, muhogo, duma, guashe, izo, they are very good, and including the traditional vegetables. They are very good for sustaining, because the man that we have at the moment, it has been said through statistics, tunapata erectile dysfunction sana. Na mwanaume yote ukiwa na stress kwa kichwa ama depression, ka injini kanaanguka. Na injini ya mwanaume ikianguka, let me tell you, a man would rather die. Are there men here? Mbona mnyamaza hiyo? Mwanaume ni kufanya job ama aje? Kakikufa. Bane. Unless you have got diabetes, heart problems, and so on, because those are the things that get involved where? Involved in erection. It can cause a dysfunction. When it does, discuss with your wife. She will share with you, understand you, then you can walk to the nearest person, like now me, or a clinic, then you are assisted. Ama aje? Usikufe hivyo. I'm avoiding to mention these 6 stages. They are very difficult. Let me talk very briefly about the failure for us husbands. Unajua, Mungu alituumba to support wa mama na watoto wao, si ndio? We are the bread winners. But of late, it is true, statistics are showing men are not supporting the families the way they were supposed to do. What is the problem? Let me hear from the men. Shida iko wapi? Shida iko wapi, men? Sio nyinyi, but generally, shida iko wapi? Moja amesema economy, mwingine You guys are very shy. But let me tell us this. One of the reasons why the boy child at the moment has changed is because of our parenting styles. Our parenting, you see, jile wewe na mimi tulilelewa na wazazi wetu. They were uneducated, but they seemed very confident on how to raise children. We are not. You will find a child like these ones who are walking in here, kana kuja kana reason na wewe, unakaambia we, niletee hiyo kitu. Kwa nini? Nimesema unipatie, si uchukue mwenyewe. You know, one time, I entered into a friend's house in Buruburu Phase 4. And I love watching news. Mlisikia nilikuwa kwa politics, So napenda kujua trends za politics naendaje. So ilipokuwa inaelekea karibu saa 1, naona imebaki dakika 5 news isifike, nikaambia jamaa, let me rush home to watch news. Akaniambia, why not? Let's watch from this TV. And I noticed, he has a very big TV. It's usually going 50 something inches. Yangu ni 21 wakati huo. Kaangalia akasema, let me enjoy the TV. Sasa hizo wimbo tu ya KTN imeimba hivi ati mtu wa news anaenda kusema hivi. Kijana yake ambaye yako kama 7 years came from wherever he was playing. I was running, boom, 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 akaruka kwa kiti, boom. Within one flash, sijui alichukua remote saa ngapi. Mimi kuangalia TV, Tom and Jerry ndio wanakimbizana kwa TV. Na nilikuwa nangoja news. Tom and Jerry. Alafu mimi naangalia baba yake, na baba yake anasema, we, nani? Tunataka kuona news. Na wiki anaambia, nataka kuona Tom and Jerry. Anasema, hapana, tuachie tu tuone news. Alafu anasema, hapana, nataka kuona Tom and Jerry saa hii. The father turns to me and says, Pastor, hawa watoto wa siku hizi, wacha, let's just enjoy the tea. You think I enjoyed the tea? I was feeling in my heart I could grab that kaboy and knock a few sentences into his head. You get what I mean? So the parents that we have now, our parenting style imechangia to have our children becoming also irresponsible. People are marrying a man in a trouser, you think marrying a man. Hello? Men are made. They are not born. Did you hear that? They are made. That's why you could go, umeanguka unalia. Mama yako, mama sio baba, anakuangalia, unalia nini? Ati nimejigonga nikaanguka. We, wacha hiyo kelele. You are a man. Mwanaume ni kuanguka na kuamuka na kwe. Lakini saa hii utasikia, ati umeanguka. Ati wapi? Oh my baby. We. But it has to do with the upbringing. It also has to do with the lack of trust in finances, because there are some women also when they have their salary hawatoi, mkono yao ni kama ya birika, mekwama hivi mpaka uinamishe hivi ndio itoe kitu. So the men also now say, na mimi nikae na yangu na wewe ukae na yako. You need to come together and sit together, make a budget, discuss how much are you bringing, how much am I bringing. Lillian has a salary, I have mine. But you know, if I wish Lillian was here, but when she does come another time, ask her. Even in private, I never interfere with her salary. Never. I allow her to do things she can be able to do in the house. Are you there? Hata sija hapo wanaume wamekataa. Alete hizo pesa anipatie, mimi ni hesabu na nimgawie ile anaweza kutaka ama aje. Treat your wife like one of the children in the house, you know. She's the one who is doing the job. So just agree, discuss it together. But that lack of trust and communication is another problem. But then the woman of today, because of being empowered, like he said, mumemea pia pembe. Na hizo pembe zilitoka siku za Moi. Unakumbuka Moi? Moi High School, Moi Girls, Moi Girls, Moi Girls. Then they forgot the boy child. I am urging us who are here, both mom and dad, help us to raise the boy child back to the standards where God wanted them to be. so that we can have men in this society who can propagate the family going forward. Finally, let me conclude with the stages, because I have a lot of things here I cannot cover, and yet they are all yours. But I can't cover in one sitting. Let me put it this way. If there is planning to do something, and if you fail to plan, you also plan to, it's still a plan all the same. Let me give you some stages of how you can do investment. You know me, in life, until there are some people from my Luya land who even doubt if I'm a Luya. But I am Muluya dam. Ukikata inatoka tu omshisa lichina. Pure. But there are people whom the community associates me with. Kikuyu and Kisii. Nikamwambia, Wakikuyu wanafanya nini? Na Wakisii wanafanya nini? Hebu jiulize, what do they know? They are very industrious, they are out, they are aggressive, they are investors. These are the stages scientifically proven. Stage ya kwanza, 20 to 35. It is called intimacy versus isolation. I'm concluding with those stages. 20 to 35, which is called intimacy versus isolation. According to statistics, they say, between 20 and 35, you should have gotten all the careers you wanted to study. That's number one. Number two, that is the ideal way. Number two, the relationships you wanted to enter into should have been achieved at that time. Number three, all the children you wanted to give birth to should have been born at that time. You know why? When women conceive children after the age of 35, their womb biologically is not strong enough. You know that? That is why we've got what the doctors call miscarriage or spontaneous abortion. The body ejects the baby. Why? Because there is looseness. It's no longer firm. 20 to 35. And then within the same year of 20 years, the same developmental scientists wanasema, it is the time when you should start planning for your retirement. Did you hear me? Are you here? Have you already planned for your retirement? I had a workmate of mine in Kenya Power. Hey, Yawa. He used to sit around in a seat, akirotate hivi. He had 2 secretaries. Akifinya button hivi, secretary anaruka. Coming to respond to his needs. When he was given a letter to retire, it took him unawares. Akaplead kama Hezekiah facing the wall. God, remember, remember how I've served you. Kampuni ikamuongeza miaka shigana igere. Na hiyo mbili pia iliisha hata bila kujua. Kwenda home. Hey. Let me tell you, if you have been thinking of investing when you retire, you will die within the first year. Haya. Na ni pastor amesema. Sasa hiyo itakushika. Haya, we, jipange. Start early. Start early. I have tried and it has worked. Start early. Number 2. The other stage is what we call 35 to 45. It is a very prime age. If you notice, kampuni inaitwanga generativity stage. Generativity, yeah. Generativity, 20 to 35. No, 35 to 45. Generativity. Naona hiyo? Ukiangalia kampuni zile zinalenga kutengeneza profit, they don't hire people outside of that bracket. Unakumbuka Joshua Waigoro? Ule alikuwa CEO wa KCB. Aliritaishwa akiwa na miaka ngapi? Have you ever thought of it? When he became the CEO, he was 35 years. When he hit 46, the shareholders walimuonyesha mula. Si ati kampuni ilikuwa imefilisika, si ati Joshua was not performing. No, according to statistics, his output is now kaput. Imeanza ku slow down. They need somebody who will make more profit, super profit, and it must be a younger age. Wanishika vizuri. Sasa ukiwa na hiyo umri, na mimi naona hapa kuna mavijana wako kwa hiyo umri hapa ndani, na wasichana wao wenye wameolewa nao. Mko sawa. Also statistics show that somebody who is between 20 and that particular stage, kwa ile inaitwanga sperm count, they are very strong. You know that? Hata akikupandisha mbegu anakupatia mtoto ambaye yako very healthy. Hallelujah. Wewe sio ni statistics nzuri kujaribu kutumia watoto wetu ambao wanafuata tumzee tuko na 70 years tumzungu. Hata wanafuata kwa maana tu ni mzungu. 70 years anakuzalisha wewe. Hiyo ni shida tunajiletea. Hako katoto kila wakati mnaenda hospitali. Kako weakling. Are you hearing me? But it's a very good stage for what? For investment, for you to invest some money. Trying to look for where I was. What stage were we? 22, 35 to 45. Then the other stage when you are still also really generating funds. What I didn't mention at 30 to 45 to 35 to 45, that person is absorbed in themselves. Me, myself, and I. They don't think mostly India. That's why they are very good for you to hire. If you are an investor, hire such a people. They don't think about uko India. They think about them around, self-absorption around them like this. They do well. Then when you get to 45 to 65, you are still good. But that's the last stage. Shikanda, 45 to 65. You are still good. You can still generate money. That's why you will find kuna kampuni zingine ziko na watu wazee mpaka hiyo kiwango lakini wamewakwamia bado hawaondoki. Kama hao watu wako huko Central Bank sasa, ndio nani huyo? Tu Juguna Ndungu na wale wengine wanaitwa Twitter sijui nani hao kwa finance na nini. Zona ni watu wazee. But because of that age bracket, statistics show they are still very productive and they have a lot of wisdom for decision making. That's why they are there. And I see a number of you are here. We can make it. Tell your neighbor we can make it. Basi mnangoja nini ko invest? Haki mimi nikiwaangalia retirement yenu imefika. Nikiwaangalia tu hivi. Actually retirement imefika. By now you should be at home. One of the things I said I will never do is wait for my employer to remind me with a letter. Kwani mimi, what did Moses? Unajua Moses, the one who wrote the Psalm 90, sio ya David. Psalm 90 was written by who? By Moses. And he said in verse number 12, akasema, teach us to number our days. Na watu wengine hapa tunakaa tu nde. Miaka zinasonga na uko tu nde. Ati ulikuwa unasema ati economy itakuwa better. Ati tukishatoa Moi najua economy itakuwa poa, nitajenga. Sawa, Kibaki alienda. Alafu kasema okay, Kibaki akienda, Unye akija, tutakuwa sawa. Unye alienda. Waacha saa hii vile ile mioto mlikuwa nayo. Mlikuwa na mioto. Ati hasla. Waacha niwaambie hasla mgani amesaidika na hii serikali? Hata kamoja hivi ukinionyesha nitakupea shilingi. Hakuna. What must come? Freedom. Things will never change. They can only change in you. During the COVID-19 period, I'm concluding, people really cried and said it was the most difficult season. I can guarantee you, it is the time when I made more money than any other time. Mnanishika? Aya, wewe nyinyi endelea tu kulia. The Lord you preach, he says, in season, out of season. He says, silver is mine, gold is mine. And the one that really pleases me is Psalms 24, verse 1 and 2. God is so clear. He says, the earth is the Lord's. You hear that? Everything in it. Then, everyone, mimi huwa, unajua, najikalishanga tu hapo nasema, God, kama hii yote ni yako. Mali yote ni yako. Na mimi ni wako. I bought my first house when I was 27 years. I'm an investor. Miaka Shikanda, 27. Sikuwa na do. I was renting a house in Buruburu Phase 5. Extension, Upper Donholm. Upper Pioneer area. And I used to pay 5,000 shillings rent per month. My mother-in-law, who is now deceased, she came and visited us. Akaona, ati mnalipa ngapi? Hiyo yote. Na ni ngiri ngapi? 5, nyumba ya bedroom Shikanda 3. Siku hizo when men were men. Then I listened to my mother-in-law, I thought, she could be right. At 60,000 shillings in a year napea mtu. Badala ya kununua nyumba nayo mimi. When that lease ended, nikaanza kutafuta kwa magazeti. You know, I've bought almost all my things online, including a house or houses in online. Nikatafuta kwa classified ads. Nikaona moja, Buruburu something, imeandikwa. Nikaingia kwa gari. I used to drive a Volkswagen Golf that time. Now I began to drive cars kitambo. Right now, I have the 15th car. 15th. Unaonaje? Na wewe unasema hapa ati hakuna pesa. Pesa nani anasema hakuna pesa? Pesa iko. Ni wewe ndio unataka kufungua mafikira ufikirie. Mbesha shio nyenge mona we neke. Then interesting factor. I see the name, I call, they tell me where the house is, I go and see it. Nika inspect nyumba, nikaambia huyo agent mwenye aliadvertise, nikaambia hiyo nyumba nanunua. To him, he believed this man has money, red cash hivi. The owner was selling it for 950,000. A house in Buruburu. 950,000. Akapigiwa simu tukakutana. Tuka-negotiate. Good thing. He never knew what Buruburu looked like. He lived in Runda. A young man. Was almost my age. Anakuja na bibi yake in a Mercedes sports car. Bibi anasema, I came to check this house plus the ones we have in South B and South C. We are selling all of them. But I just wanted to know what type of houses we are selling that you have been owning. The girl had no idea. Then she reaches there and said, Daniel, you mean we own such a things? We have been eating money from poor people. You can't sell the house in this state it is in, because it is even worse than my servant's quarter. I want to do this. I am ordering my staff from Runda to come and renovate the compound plus the house before you sell it. Can you hear that? By the time they were handing over the house to me at 950,000, the house ukiangalia unafikiri is a small Runda. Hey! Sasa tunaenda wanatuambia let's go to the lawyers, we finish the seal and exchange the money. Kufika kwa lawyer anaambia, by the way, I don't have money. I have to go and negotiate with the bank to give me a mortgage. That owner of the house almost collapsed. I have sent away all the other buyers who had the cash. You have wasted, we have even renovated the house, and no problem, I will get money. The HFCK, to cut the long story short, they paid for the house, and I entered with my family. I made sure I gave my wife and children stability of residence. Mnaninyita. That was just one of the properties. And I am urging you, every one of us that is here, some of these things are doable. You don't have to have money. It is just ideas in your head. Ideas. I saw a car. I was last year in June on Facebook. I was saying, I need to change. I've driven this car for 7 years. I need another car. But I don't have the liquid cash in now that can afford another car. So I checked in the Facebook, then I saw a car. I called the owner. They tell me, oh, we are in Two Rivers. Come and see. Then I go there with my car, sitting in it, driving. Nikifika nikipark hivi, silent nakagua hiyo gari yenye niliona nilimezea sana, na ikagua nikiangalia hivi. Somebody else comes. and tells the car showroom dealer, wewe, nilikuambia when a RAV4 comes here, you call me. Now there is a RAV4 in your showroom. Na ni ile mimi nimekuja nayo. Sio ya kuuza, ni yangu. You should have told me you have gotten it. I'm going out with this car right now. I didn't go there to buy. I didn't have a car. They huyo jamaa ananiita car, anambia we, let's sell this car, then you take the other one. Then he says, how much? Nikamwambia give me 500,000. Tukangangana kafika 450. Nikamwambia na ile ingine ni ngapi? Akaniambia ni 800,000. So that means I have to add 350. Sema siwezi. Come on, I can't do that. We negotiated. Nikamuongeza 250, and I had 250,000 shillings in cash in the bank. Nilienda kwa bank ile opposite. I went with a RAV4. I drove back a Harrier. All you do, have ideas. These things are doable. They are manageable. Mnanishika? We, mundu wa Butere. Taka nikuje home napata umejipanga. Amen. Tutatembeleana, tutachukua address yako. Nataka tutiane moto. Tufanye farming huko nyumbani. Tujijenge ama aje ya duong. Tujifanye nini? Tujijenge. Ni mwezi ya miwa. Unajua Wajaluo wanaitanga mheshimiwa mwezi ya miwa. Sasa wewe ni mheshimiwa kama mimi. Yawa. Some of the seminars you need to include, like for example, when you have a couples meeting and it is done on a Saturday, one of the topics you must include is investment and industrialization. So that somebody else comes who is different from now me to come and investment. Utajikuta uko na pesa na kumbe unafikirianga huna. You're already there. Any question or comment? I can't finish this. Bishop, this is enough for today. Any question or comment? Because of the rain and the time. I'm ready to hear from you. Please, don't shy away. Ask anything. Even if you have any question that you need us to explore, don't go away. Alafu anza kuulizananga huko nyumbani. Huyo jamaa angeongelelea hii. Na hakuongea. Sema sasa. Only 1, 2 from here, 2 from here, and you're done. Yes, my brother? Yes, yourself. Orgasm. Do you all know what's orgasm? Oh? Anybody who knows? I just want to know if the statistics. Only one person knows what is 2. The rest of us, 3. You say the benefits. Let me tell you, it has so many benefits, I don't even know where to begin. The truth is, it has 4 stages. Let me give you, so that you, just to mention them by name. It begins this way. Orgasm is the 3rd stage. Honor is the 3rd. Before the first one is called arousal. Wakati ambapo mtu anaanza kusikia tu aire. Kujisikia na ule mwenzake. Kujisikia, lakini wengi wetu tunamalizanianga kwa hiyo level ya kujisikia. Hata tufiki stage 2. So kwa hiyo stage 1, then you come to stage 2, desire, arousal, then orgasm. Let me tell you the scientific, physiological, cognitive benefits of orgasm. There are very many. That's why I spared the 4 stages for another day. Tukianza kuongelelea sasa. But it's a very good question. I thank you for your boldness. Don't go missing. Thank you. Any other? From here, then 2 here, then we are done. But it's a very good question. Yes? Yes, my dear sister? Yeah, it's a general question, yes. These people here are so schooled, eh? They are good. Those are very academic questions. Now, there are disorders that we classify under what we call personality disorders. There are people we have married, but we are not aware that they have certain levels of personality disorders. It's called dependent personality disorder. Dependent. In the sense that hata hawe nayo, yeye anataka tu kutegemea wengine wamfeed at whatever time. They have a dependent personality disorder. Others would be just miser. You know, the people who are very mean. What do you do with them? What do you do with them? Don't die with that person. Ask them to seek counsel from a therapist. If they refuse, then that lady who is struggling or that man should actually come for counsel. Why? You will be given coping skills to survive under such a stressful environment. But in most cases, that's why the church is there. When we provide opportunities like this one, we can also offer what we call pro bono therapy services to such a people on a full day seminar session. We help them to come to debrief them. Some of them may doing it out of because that's the way they were raised. I saw my mother feeding my father, and she never complained. Why are you complaining? You know, like, no. You said they are seeing it like the wife should also do the same. So it could be something that is a learned behavior that needs to be debriefed and bring them up to speed. Thank you. There was another hand. Was it here? Yes. I'm really praying that I might forward the document either to the bishop or to the chair of the couple's meetings, so that you see, like, when a facilitator comes and our tour, it is one way of doing research, and our tour, and then you begin to go into your own abilities to dig out information. But I will make sure the document is available, because this brief analysis was only done for this congregation. I can push it over. Then during your own meetings, you can begin to champua each other. Is that okay? But there are more benefits. There are very many. Stress is just come away. There are also physical conditions that come with it. Because when somebody has had proper intimacy, it comes in to boost your immune system. Did you know, for instance, mtu kupata ukiwa na hii homa ka flu na ka, you're sneezing, if you have sex, does it remain? No, that's a question. Does it? We nyinyi mbona mna, hii sex iko na dawa, hii ni dawa. It's a very good thing. Unapata mtu una ile sneezing, ile kama pain kadogo kanaisha, especially even the spinal cord exercises and reflection. Very good. I had a cousin of mine who went to the mother all the time akicomplain. He was 20 years, I think. Mgongo inauma hapa lower back. The mother got fed up, and she was also very arrogant mom. Akamwambia, we, tafuta girlfriend yako. Hiyo maneno mmaliza, hiyo mgongo itapona. Did you hear that? There are many benefits. But we can't go into details. But I like, those are good questions, my brother. Thank you. I think on that note, oh yes, Mheshimiwa. Amen. doesn't speak.
Yes. And where I come from, when the foreign comes at the home,
Yeah.
and they want to be recognized from the gate,
Yeah.
you know very well where he comes from. What do they do? Whenever he says,
Anakohoa.
the wife will know, definitely.
Mzee amefika.
And you not just know definitely he says Arab. That is a signal of what you have talked about. I want to be because these things are eating us. Another thing I could say that you cook.
Yes, I cook.
And you had my brother somewhere talk to somebody. That place of cooking, you are comfortable. But other people are not comfortable. Because they feel like they're a man. As you were saying.
It's
Man is a man.
wounding their ego.
And you just say that way. To give us the
Kidogo.
one part aside. You are definitely come upon the joke to see a media mama and you want to
Chukua mbinja.
If that one would like give us the behavior that could, because maybe they are not doing lakini nataka mama ingipa ile mapema sababu haihandi. What do I do? Napiga picha kidogo. Anapiga haraka na
Hebu tuangie huyu jamaa makofi. Wacha tuanze na hiyo ya mbinja tukija juu. You see, marriage and intimacy has no manual. Even when you hear the things we discuss from the Western culture, you must come and contextualize them into your cultural encapsulation so that you teach each other, it becomes, you create your own culture, how you communicate. However, one of the most or the biggest impediment to intimacy has been a crowded home. Crowded home. You get it? Because like Shula, one of the people who passed on, and he was Dr. Shula, a very renowned scholar and preacher, he wrote in one of his books, and I saw he said, that before you begin a family is like a farmer. You must first of all get the plot where you will rear the cattle, alafu ujue nyasi yenye hizo ng'ombe zitakula kama hiyo itatosha, then you put a fence around that particular boma before you put the cows inside there. You get what I mean? So in most cases, when you realize that the space is different from Shikanda's space, you create your own way of communication like he has done. But number 3, people come from different cultures. Are you from Kalenjin community? Huh? Kikuyu community. Any Kalenjin? Mommy? Agenge gityo? Is it like every community, let me now, because I didn't see a male Kalenjin, ningetumia yeye kama mfano. Every community has their own way of socialization. Mtoto kijana amesocializiwa hivi na pia amekuwa akiobserve daddy. So unapata you become a replica, unakuja unaduplicate hiyo tabia kwako. Na wewe ni mtu msomi, na wewe ni mtu umekuwa na world view iko wide, lakini unakuja unaduplicate the same tabia. But what I urge you, let us create our own way, and I thank you for that. Na mama ameshika hiyo langu. Watu wengine wanasikia hiyo mbinja, hawashikanishi network, hata watoto hawana wawili tu, na mna satisfy one another. Namranyita. What was the second one? Yeah, cooking. Let me tell you that You can travel around the world. The best cooks in this world are men. Anywhere you go, men are the best cooks. Culture. Wapi huyo jamaa? Ameishia. Mwenye mlikuwa mnasema apata hiyo ujumbe. These two people, they are great friends. They love each other. Let me tell you, if you took time once and cooked for your wife, that day you cook, mama really enjoys it. And cooking also makes your wife know you respect her. Are you getting me? Is respect, and that you love her and you care. She should not be the one in the kitchen 24/7. Mimi niko anaosha, anafanya hii, anakatakata hii, niko kwa sink naosha hii, nafanya hii. In fact, Lillian can swear there is no single day Lillian has ever made breakfast and dinner. Two things. Lunch she can on weekends. But dinner akitoka job, anakuja job hivi. Anakuja home. Atianza kusema, nianzie wapi? Kwani wewe unakaa kwa nyumba, wewe ni mjinga aje? Unakaa tu nde. Is she your employee? Lillian is not my worker. She's not my house girl. If anybody is here that is married a house girl, aseme sahi. Is she your lover? Is she your friend? Is she your best friend? Do you want to share values with her? Cook. Hello? Unaonaje mzee? Tapika? Hiyo haja jibu. But you see, atapika. Umekubali eh? Please, it is a good thing. I know culture inatukataza. Lakini culture, some of the cultures are archaic and they deny us matters of intimacy. Kama bibi yako atakaa kwa jikoni na wewe uko sitting room, hamuonani? So you are strangers to one another. If you are in the kitchen, both of you, or occasionally you are in the kitchen, both of you, does it make sense? Yes. It appeals to you. You got it? So that when you are in the bedroom, anatoka shower, ana change, na wewe pia uko hapo, si anakuambia toka, nataka kuvaa. Ati utoke, anataka kuvaa? That means if you practice cooking together, doing things together, even na kuvaa nguo, hata atakwambia tuende bafu tuoke pamoja. Manishika. I love cooking. By the way, I really love it. Cooking. The only thing I am very poor and I cannot try ni chapo. Kuganda hiyo unga alafu sijawahi jaribu na siwezi fanya. Yet I love chapati. That is chapati. Lillian must cook chapati for me every Sunday as long as I'm around. Like today. She will cook chapo. But other days akikuja, nimenunua kuku ama nimechinja from a backyard. Nimekaanga, nimetengeza kuku, mimi naenda huko nje na park gari ama saa zingine natoka tunaenda nanunua mboga, nanunua za kienyeji na tena nakuja. Men, buy mboga tembea nayo. Hapana ficha ndani ya mahali fulani ati nunua mboga. Na kwanza nyinyi ndio mnapomoa hizo mboga kweli kweli. Na unaogopa hata kubeba. My brother, are you okay? You are good? You can carry mboga? Wewe jamaa amesema it is just something, jifunze tu utazoea. It is not a bad thing. The third one, cooking helps me to develop intimacy and also to make Lillian know I value her. Si kumuleta kama mpishi, si kumuleta kama mfanyakazi wangu. There are times when I was told by the doctor through my studies that the exercises, your fingers and biceps are very good for my heart especially. So instead of just going to the gym na kufanya vitu hivi, naambia Lilian, weekend hii nipatie nguo zako na zangu na uniwekee maji na sabuni huko nje. Wacha ninabambana nazo. Yeah. Alafu unapata sasa ile unahang hizo nguo huko nje, wanaume kama mnakaa kwa plot ambayo wanaume wanakuona, wanasema aki fulani kamekaliwa. Ati fulani kamekaliwa. Wacha waongee. Wacha waseme. Unajua hivyo? Wajinga ni wao. Wacha waseme. Kumbafu kabisa hawa. Wacha waseme. Because me and Lilian, we are the two of us. Ati kamekaliwa kama chapati. Yani ukiniona hivi, mimi ni mtu wa kukaliwa. Nitakubeba nikutupe. Kijaribu kunikalia. I am very strongly principled person. My wife and children know. If they were here, they will tell you. And the next time, I will come with her. She will testify. I can even give you her contact. You can confirm from her. It's not a game. You must preach and what you practice. I cannot have the audacity to come and stand here to talk about couples when I have failed running my own house. It can't work. Even God will not allow me. Ningekuwa nimegonga matatu huko nje, alafu niwe nafanya kesi huko kwa barabara, niwaambie Bishop, pole nilikonga mazini, niko na kesi, tutapanga another day. Are you hearing me? What was the other one? You had 3 things. Yeah. Yeah. Kama mimi. My friend, this man is good. Hebu tuangie yeye makofi. Huyu ako sawa. Paka ule ametoroka. It was very hot until he ran away. You see, it is a matter of understanding one another. Although there are people who have got what we call a sexual disorder. Sexual disorder. They can even demand for sex 3 or 4 times a day. A day. Yeah. Anafanya asubuhi kabla aende job. Akiwa anafanya kazi karibu na nyumbani, anahepa job, anakuja home, anafanya mchana. Wako watu wa aina hiyo. Hiyo ni disorder. That's a disorder. It's not proper. Are you getting me? There are some who will do it once in a week. But let me tell you, sex is like beauty is in the hands of the beholder. If you are attracted to one another, na unapata uko na shida ya kukutana kimwili, it means your love has a challenge in itself. Are you getting me? You cannot be telling the other person, I am tired. Tired with what? Ulikuwa unalimia yeye shamba. You know, those are things we don't entertain in. On average, science imesema, on average, sex that is quality among couples that are very intimate, at least 4 times a week. At least. How many times? 4 a week. Scientifically. Eish. Unaona, hiyo ni ngumu sana. Hadi hiyo ni sawa, yes? It doesn't vary with the age. And you unasikia Waswahili wakisema hata paka mzee hunywa maziwa. In fact, unless somebody has depression causes erectile dysfunction. If somebody has a heart problem or diabetes, that can be understood. It can be very difficult and painful, or they have prostrate. Okay, difficulty to have sex, or the woman has through sleep hygiene. Maybe I didn't mention this. Women, it is possible for you to feel pain during sexual intercourse, and there are reasons for that. Then it makes them fear or say, not now. They do it only once. That's about a physical condition. Some of them are psychological. If, for example, a woman was raped when she was a child, are you getting me? It can affect them in their sex life. Okay? Number 2, if the sleep hygiene for a woman is not good, how can it not be good? For example, washing the vaginal system with soap. Sabuni. Hairuhusiwi kuingia ndani ya vaginal system. Nanishika vizuri? Huko hakuna germs. Let me tell you, if you listen to a gynecologist atakwambia, mdomo ya binadamu iko na germs kuliko vagina. Are you listening? You can even put your tongue in there and be very safe. Aish. Hii tongue mnaweka kwa mdomo ya mwingine, hiyo iko na sumu zaidi, iko na sumu, huko hakuna sumu. Aish. Marashigana, inya. But one of the things that makes women become reluctant for sex is they develop splinters or these slight swellings around the vulvas of their vagina, making penetration painful and difficult. So the reason could be, if you wash your panty, hii tu ya kawaida mnavaa, unaoga vizuri, unahang, lakini hauweki kwa jua. Wengine wanahang chini ya kitanda, huku. Wengine wanahang kwa bafu, in dark places. So you will think the pant is dry when it is actually not dry. When you take it and wear, studies show that the vaginal system is alive and kicking, very alive. That's why people pump through there, not through anywhere else. It's alive. So what it does, the moist pant begins to pick moisture from there and takes it through the vaginal valve system. Alafu inaanza kufanya infections inside there. Then it makes penetration difficult. Kama hauna jua mahali unaishi, na sijui ni wapi huko, hakuna jua. Kama hakuna jua, before you wear any pant and you are a female, tupa kwa board ya kupasa. Weka pasi kwa stima, pitisha juu, utaona kanatoa moshi. Have you noticed that? Kanatoa moshi, unafikiri kalikuwa mbichi. Na kumbe kalikuwa amekauka, kanatoa moshi. That way you are sterilizing, you are removing the moisture. Then when you wear it, you are good. Men, for you to do it 4 times a week on average, you must also be physically fit. Physically what? Hiyo ni kitu unafanya mpaka unatoa jasho, ama ni aje? Kama utoi jasho hujafanya kitu, wewe ni bure. Mpaka utoe nini? Jasho. It means it engages the brain, cognitive, the physical must be fit. Do exercises. Do fine exercises so that you are physically fit. But at least if your partner travels around or they work shifts, then you can again modify at least a number of times in a week or a number of times in a month if they work far. You get it? But it can vary from person to person. Just agree. Yes, my brother?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I just wanted to ask you, in your many years of family counseling, have you handled a couple where you, in your assessment, feel that this marriage can't work, and so probably you recommend they separate from it? What happens if it is a church? This is one topic that is rarely discussed in the church, yet there is also in the church. So, as a pastor, what then you do if, for example, you meet brethren in a church and you conclude that this marriage can't work, and you recommend the separation?
Yeah. Hawa jamaa, hii wingi iko na watu wanoma sana yuko, yeah? That's a very good question. Let me start by saying this. In my premarital counseling, I have stopped 3 weddings. 3, literally. And I have no apologies for that. One of them I can just give you as an example for you, Bishop, to hear is that unaona kama ile counseling the pastor does for couples before they come together. Every pastor must recommend that that couple also goes to a counseling session with a professional therapist. The professional will unearth things in that relationship that the pastoral counseling cannot even penetrate. When I was counseling this couple, I noticed the lady was a bank manager, and the young man was he was an IT manager in another corporate organization. And when I was counseling them together, we look at huyu vile alilelewa, historical life, na huyu naye historical life yake. So I noticed there are unresolved businesses nyingi sana kwa kijana, unresolved businesses nyingi sana kwa msichana. So what I normally do now, I separate them and begin to deal with each one of them individually. Mundu, humundu, one by one. So I asked the lady, because in the discussion she said, because of my work, I travel around a lot, and almost every weekend I am out. But when I confronted her when she was alone, she told me this. Now in secret, she said, because we discussed things confidentially, she said, I have a side boyfriend. And they are doing premarital counseling for marriage with another man, but she has a side boyfriend. Then I said, oh, tell me more. And then she said, no, the other man, he is very good in bed, the side one. Very good. But this other one is a very humble man, good material for a husband. You hear that? Good material for husband. And this one is a good material for sex. That's actually what she meant. I said, oh. And how do you plan now to deal with the two when you get joined together? She said, that is one of my main problems, but I don't want to lose either. Then I said, that's okay. We'll pick up that topic in the next session. So I called the man, came for his session another week. Then I asked him, tell me about your relationships with other girls that you may have out there. The man said, the last time I had a girlfriend is when I was in university. But from the time when I got my job and began dating this lady, I have never had any other relationship with any other woman. I said, are you sure? He said, before God, that's my evidence. Now, you are looking at the man, the problem he's getting into, he has no idea. Then I say, that's okay. After we finish the therapy, I said, I will need you in the next session after I've seen your fiancé. So the other week, the fiancé comes, then she sits there. I asked and said, you remember, I told you our therapy is confidential. However, if I hear any behavior or things among you that can cause harm to the other, either to yourself or to the other person, I have to warn the other person and also warn you or use the government to intervene. That's what we do. Then I said, you remember last week you mentioned to me that you have mpango ya kando, and every Friday you tell your fiancé you have a corporate meeting at work and you are with your officials kazini kwa meetings za kutengeneza corporate meetings, but you are actually having sex with your friend in his house. Now that you are planning to get married to this person, I see danger. I want you to book an appointment with your friend, take him out for a date. And when you are out in the date, disclose to him what you have been doing. If he will ignore that and still say, in spite of what you are doing, he still wants to marry you, then I have no problem with it. But this is how I will want to check it. After you have disclosed to him, you will book an appointment with me and you come, both of you. And I will ask you to recite what you said to him in my hearing. And he gives me the answer when he's also hearing. When they went, they never came back. Then, that was just one example. Then, I followed them with a phone call and said, hey, my friend, how come you haven't followed up your premarital counseling? aliniambia, pastor, hiyo mambo tuliacha, that relationship ended. I discovered very funny things about that girl. He didn't discover from me, I discovered very funny thing because she told him and he said, kwisha, hiyo imeisha hivyo. In the church now, people are already married. They are already, see, that's why you are coming in. They are already married. When they come to me as a pastor, this story that they said, what God has brought together, let no man take asunder. Don't misinterpret scripture. Are you hearing me? This is why people are killing each other. What will you tell God when these people whom you said you cannot ask them to take a break, not to divorce, take a break and review their own relationship? If they kill each other, what will you tell God? What I have done, and even what the law does, is this. If the marriage has conflicts every time, they don't agree, you ask them to go separate ways. What does the law provide? 1 year. 1 year. Mwambia msichana ajikalishe, na wewe kijana enda ujikalishe. Take stock. Let them reflect before they kill each other. Then they will come back again after that 1 year of being away, and then they review and say, now that you have been away, have you reviewed, and what do you think is the way forward? Nisikia mnasema, mimi nimeconsider nikaona kweli I had married the wrong person. Then what do you do? What do you do? Me, as a pastor and as a psychologist, I tell you for sure, I cannot allow an abusive marriage. I can't. The woman who you have is not your punching bag. I can't allow that. Atukupiga na wanawake wa siku hizi nimegundua, na nyinyi nanyi ni hatari sana. Kuna wanaume humu ndani wanavumilia, wanapigwa sana. Sasa yeye anajikaza hapa na kufika home anachapwa sawa sawa. Hiyo pia mimi siwezi can't allow that. If I find that, to answer you directly, I will step in my professional advice. If they refuse, again I say, the law empowers me to give their names to the state. In the event that anything happened, the state will not come for me. I warned them and I informed the state. The state can also summon them for another warning. Are you hearing me? Thank you. I think we need to stop somewhere. But I realize you are catching fire on the 11th hour. Yes, my sister? It has other risks. You get what I mean? But it is all in the mind. Because a man, we said, who wants sex is like a beast. Cannot be